Hi everyone, I am Balaji Chippada and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In continuation of our SQL series, in this video, we will understand everything in detail about left outer join, right outer join and full outer join. And we will also execute all of these in our SQL workbench and understand them in detail. So without any delay, let's get started. In the previous videos, we have learned about inner join, right? So in this video, let's just quickly rephrase what is inner join and we'll move to understand the difference between inner join and the left and right outer joins and full outer joins. In that way, you will be able to map everything clearly. So let's assume I have two tables T1 and T2, and T1 contains three columns C1, C2 and C3, and T2 contains three columns C4, C5 and C6. And I have very small amount of data. I have taken these dummy tables such that it will be easy for me to explain and easy for you to understand as well how joins work. So in the previous video, if I want to do join on these two columns, how would I do it? I will say select and I will do star from T1 join T2, and we will say I want to join on C1 and C4. So it would be T1 dot C1 equal to T2 dot C4. So what it will do, basically if you do specify join, this is basically inner join. As we are talking about select star, we have to get all the columns. So resultant table will do something like this: C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and C6, because we are selecting all the columns from this join. So I get all the columns. So for the first record, we have A1, A2, and for this first record, we have the corresponding record in this secondary table. So we have values 1, A3 and A4. And now it will go to the second record, so it will do 2 b1 b2, and then we have the corresponding record 2 b3 b4, and then it will check for the next record 4, because 4 is not present inside this table, which is table 2. It is not going to return in this data set. And then it will go to the next record 5 d1 d2, because 5 is present in table 2, we get 5 d3 and d4. And now because we have already covered 1 3 and 5, and only thing that is left is 3, but this 3 is not present inside your table 1, so this is why you get this as a resultant output if you do a inner join. So if you look at this one, if I say set of C1, so what are the unique elements in C1? It is 1 2 4 and 5. And what are the elements in C4? We have 1 2 3 and 5. So when I do a inner join, what it is going to do is, so it is going to give me the records in which we have the common elements, because 1 2 and 5 are common in both of these tables on which we are doing a join on. It is going to return me those values or records in my resultant table. So this is what an inner join is. Now I will just change this query a little bit and let's understand about left outer join. So I will modify the query like this. I will say select star from T1. Now instead of join, I will say left outer join, and I will want to do it on T2, and I will say T1 dot C1 equal to T2 dot C4, right? So this is the same as previous query, but instead of join, we have left outer join. So what this will return is, if you look at, if you stand here and look at this table 1, this is to the left side of it, right? And this is to the right side of this join keyword. So this is your left table and this is your right table. So here what we are saying is we are doing a left outer join. So first it will focus on the left table. So it will go and check for this record, and we are doing a star. So you get C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and C6 as a final output. And first it will go to the first record. We have 1, A1 and A2, and for the first record of C1 we have the corresponding match in C4. So I get 1, A3 and A4. Is that clear? Now it will go to second record. So you have 2 B1 B2, because 2 is already present inside your table 2 as well. You will get 2 B3 and B4. Now it will go to the third record 4 C1 C2, and because there is no element corresponding to 4 in the table 2, What I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate null here. Okay, and then it will go to the next record of table 1, 5, d1, d2. Because 5 is present inside it, you have 5, d3 and d4. So this will be the output of your left outer join. So what basically does is it will look at all the records of your table which is of left table, and it will try to find a match inside your right table. If there is a match, it will add those records, and if there is no match, it is going to keep null values in that place. If you look at this one, the number of records of your final output is same as the number of records inside your original left table. So if you look at the Venn diagram architecture, so let's assume this is a Venn diagram, and I have two data sets. One is table 1 and another one is table 2. If we are talking about inner join, it is going to retrieve all the elements which are common in between both of these things. But instead of left outer join, it is going to get me all the records from which all the data from table 1 and also the data which is common from table 2 as well. So this is the common area. So this is the whole area that you will get as an output for left outer join. Now let's move on to the right outer join. If you have any queries so far, please let me know in the comment section below and I will reply to each and every one of you. Now let's change the query to like this. Select star from table 1. I'm doing a right outer join here on table 2 and I'm doing the same column operation like t1.c1 equal to t2.c4. Now because we are doing star, you will get all the columns as we already know. Now let's start with this one. So this is your right table, right? And this is your left table. So let's start with first table, which is of right table, because we are doing a right outer join. It is self-explanatory, but I will explain how it will work internally so that everyone will be on the same page. Now you have to go to the first record, which is of 1, A3 and A4. If you remember, I am adding this in the corresponding column names, and it will find a corresponding value inside your table 1. Because 1 is present here, I am going to get these records here, 1, A1 and A2. Is that clear? Now it will go to the next record, which is of 2, B3 and B4. Because 2 is present here, I will get 2, B1 and B2. Now it will go to the third record, which is 3, C3 and C4. Because 3 is not present inside it, I will get null values here. And then it will go to the record 5, D3 and D4. Because 5 is present here, 5, D1 and D2. If you see, we are not having this 4 C1 C2 inside your output. So if you talk about Venn diagrams, so if I draw like this is T1 and this is T2. I'm going to get all the records from T2 and all the records which are common in T1 and T2 as well. If you see, this is the intersection area. So when I do right outer join, I'm going to get all the records from T2 and all the records which are common in between T1 and T2. Hopefully that is clear. And if you look at the length of this output, which is of 4 records, it is going to be same as the right table. And if there are more records or matching records in table 1, this length might vary, but you can do it as a sanity check. Hopefully that is clear, and we will understand about full outer join in a bit. Now let's change the query like this. Select star from T1 full outer join. Instead of join, we are talking about full outer join. T2 on T1.C1 equal to T2.C4. Now, because it is a full outer join, it is going to look at all the records in both of these tables. So first we have 1, A1 and A2. Because there is a match, you get 1, A3 and A4. And then next we have 2, B1, B2, 2, B3, B4. And then we have 4, C1, C2. And there is no 4, so that we have null values like this. And then we have 5, D1, D2, and then we have 5, D3 and D4. And because we have missed this record, we will add like this 3, C3, C4, and there are no values, so that we will have null, null and null here. So likewise, you get all the records from both of these tables, and we call it as a full outer join. So if you talk about Venn diagram like this, I'm going to get all the records from table 1 and table 2 and all the records which are common in between table 1 and table 2. If you look at the number of records, these are the number of unique values in both of these combined. Hopefully you understand the difference between right outer join left outer join and full outer join. So let's summarize this. So we have learned about inner join, and then we have left outer join, and then we have right outer join, and then we have full outer join. So if we talk about the Venn diagrams, let me do a Venn diagram like this. So this is T1, this is T2, and in case of inner join, I'm going to get the inner values between those two tables. In case of left outer join, I'm going to get all the values which are present in table 1 along with the values which are common between table 1 and table 2. And then if I talk about right outer join, it is going to be all the values in table 2 along with all the values which are common in table 1 and table 2. And when I say full outer join, we are going to get all the records from table 1 and table 2 along with the records of both which are in common between these two tables. So when you're doing in SQL, you don't specifically need to do outer. You can just say left join, right join, and then outer join. If you specify only join, by default it is going to be an inner join. Hopefully you understand all the difference between all of these joins, and we will execute all of these in SQL Workbench now and understand the output quickly. Now let's understand all of that we have learned onto our SQL Workbench. So I have two tables, movies and movies genre, and movies table is containing or having 4 columns, and movies genre is having only 2 columns. And I'm doing a select star. That means I want to get all the columns from both of these tables once the join has been done. Here I'm mentioning only join. That means it's an inner join, and I'm doing it on ID and movie ID. And if I execute this, I'm going to get this output in which I have all the columns from both of these two tables because I'm using a select star, and I have all the records in which we have the ID match. So if you look at 1 1 1 1 2, there is a match, then only you get all the records. And it is little bit hard to visualize this output because the data is very huge. That is why I have explained all of those visualization using very short amount of tables. Hopefully you understand that. And then I will talk about left join. The same code, everything is same like this, but instead of join, I'm doing a left join. And if I execute this, I get this output. And then I can do right join, and if I do this, I will get this. And it is little bit hard to visualize, that is why I'm not explaining the output in detail. And here MySQL doesn't fully support full outer join, so if I execute this, it is not going to give me any output, but it is going to throw me an error. If you look at this, because MySQL doesn't support full outer join. And one more thing is, full outer join is very computationally expensive because you have to match with both of those two tables, and you need to get all the records from both of these two tables. And if your tables are having very huge amounts of data, full outer join is very computationally expensive. So how do you achieve full outer join inside your SQL? So if you think about it, I have left join and right join. Left join will give me this, and right join will give me this, right? And full outer join is combine of both. So instead of full outer join, what I will do is, first I will do left join, and then I will do right join, and then I will do a union of both of these two. Union means I need to combine both, right? So I will do left join, I will do right join, and I will do a union of both of these things so that I will get a full outer join. So what I'm doing here is select star from movies. I'm doing a left join on movies genre on this ID, and then I'm doing a union on which I'm doing a union. I'm doing a union on the right join. So I would have to remove this. And if I do this, this is basically like a full outer join. So if you want to achieve full outer join, you need to do left join, right join, and union of both of these things if you are in MySQL. But if you are using any other type of database which are like Oracle database like that, which they support full outer join, you can directly do full outer join. Hopefully you understand that. If you have any queries so far, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will reply to each and every one of you. And that's all for this video, guys. In this video, we have learned how inner join works, how left outer join works, how right outer join works, and how full outer join works, and how full outer join can be computationally expensive, and how you can do full outer join even though MySQL doesn't support because you can do left join, right join, and union of both. Hopefully you understand everything in detail, and in the coming videos we will be learning about cross join and self join. These two are really important and it would be very interesting topics to learn as well. So if you are learning something new from this video, a sub to the channel would be appreciated, and click that bell icon to get notified daily, and we will meet in the next video. Bye bye.